All right, let's do the other trig functions. We have sine and cosine, and remember we had the derivative of the sine was the cosine, and the derivative of the cosine was the minus sine. So that still leaves things like the tangent. Remember, tangent was sine over cosine. Try to put it in the same order here. The cotangent, which is the cosine x over sine x. And then we've got secant. The secant is 1 over cosine. And the cosecant is 1 over sine. Now, in principle, the derivative rules for sine and cosine, along with the product rule or quotient rule, will tell you how to do the derivative of all of these. And the truth is, most mathematicians don't memorize them. They just derive it when they need it. However, if you're doing a class and speed matters, it's probably worth memorizing. All right, so here's the theorem. It says the following, that the derivative of the tangent is, let's see here, the secant squared. And that's probably the way to write it in this course, but I want to add, it's also can be written as 1 plus the tangent squared of x. So in some later classes, well, you really want to be able to remember that. It can be written either way. All right, then you have the derivative of the cotangent, and that's minus the cosecant squared of x. Who else do we have? We've got the secant, so d by dx of the secant of x, and that can be written as the secant times the tangent. And then d by dx of the cosecant, that can be written as minus cosecant cotangent. All right. As I said, all of these are just done by the product rule. So let's just do one of them. Let's do the tangent one. So d by dx of the tangent is d by dx of sine x over cosine. And so by the quotient rule, it's the derivative of the sine times the cosine minus sine x times the derivative of the cosine all over the denominator squared. And we already know that the derivative of the sine is cosine, and so there'll be two of them, so cosine squared x. And derivative of the cosine will be minus the sine, so I'll get minus minus, so I'll get sine squared x all over cosine squared x. And here you have to remember this other trig identity that says sine squared of x plus cosine squared of x is 1. That's just saying that the sine and cosine are how you parameterize the unit circle. But anyway, that's the identity, so the top is 1 over cosine squared. And remember, 1 over cosine was the cosecant, or 1 over cosine is the secant, so that's secant squared of x. So there you have it.